Hello everyone, this is Lucas and today is March 17th, 2024. And today I got Envirotex one-to-one polymer coating. This is a two-part hardener and resin mix, or an epoxy coating. And man, this stuff is old. I got this stuff from a job site. It was meant to be taken to the eco station. But I believe the most environmentally friendly way of disposing of old chemicals is to use them for their intended purpose or to fix other things that could potentially upcycle into better products in 2024. So even though that probably wasn't the idea when this stuff rolled off the assembly line, it's my idea going forward. I try not to waste my chemicals. I try to use everything up as much as I can in its intended purpose. And to me, that is the most environmentally friendly way to dispose of old chemicals. So when I got one-to-one polymer coating, I hung on to it until a job came down the road where I decided that I could use it for something. And because of its age and all that other stuff today, actually, it was yesterday, some interesting things transpired, and I was able to fix something absolutely amazing with this. So, looking online, I saw that people were using transparent epoxy coatings to fix solar panels. And I happened to have this smashed 400-watt panel laying about that was spidered so bad you could barely see through it. Now, I'm going to maybe post a picture of what it looked like before it spidered out on me. I got it that way. I actually traded it up. I wanted it because it was still producing power, and I thought maybe there's a way I can change the glass in it. And then I learned you can't change the glass, you got to rebuild the panel. So the only way to get around it is to epoxy repair the face of the panel with transparent epoxy. Now, when I put the Envirotex one-to-one polymer coating onto this panel yesterday, whether it be the temperature or the age of the epoxy, which I do believe was one of the main factors, the epoxy did not set up or begin to set up in the time it's specified on the bottle. On the bottle, it says you should start to get a kickoff reaction around 2 minutes after thorough mixing. Yesterday, I waited 6 hours to get a little bit tackier than when I put it on. And the next day, today, so we're at about 14 hours later, I do have solid setting up on most of the panel in places where it's a little bit deeper because the panel did suffer some deformation during the smashing. On places where it's a little bit thicker, it still isn't quite totally set up, but it's setting up finally 14 hours later, and it's setting up nice. And the plus side to all of this is because this epoxy took so long to set up because it's old, it managed to creep into more cracks than it would otherwise. Now I know this because when I first put it on, I could see a lot of cracks still, like most of them. Now I can't see most of them. I actually have to go really close to the glass to see all the cracks that were there, and there were some really bad ones, like even some areas that were like straight up holes, like into the other side. But because the epoxy took so long to set up, all that resin had time to creep into those cracks over the 14-hour period it's taken to get to the gummy point where it is right now. I still don't want to move it. Like I can move it right now, no problem, I'm sure. But I don't want it touching anything because even though it's mostly set up, it's still at the point where some areas could take an impression of something if you push it into it. So, yeah, on something that I was supposed to take to the eco station and would have been all this effort to dispose of, I don't know exactly what they're going to do with this. Maybe somebody else will just do the same thing I did with it somewhere else. But with all the effort it would have taken to get rid of these, I was able to actually bring back some green technology and possibly make an improvement on a process that's already out there. So given that I know this now about epoxy and solar panels, that I know that if you're going to do this, try to get an epoxy. And if you're going to use new epoxy, try to get a new epoxy that takes a very long time to set up, because you'll get rid of more of your cracks, which is kind of cool. So if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget our Patreon down below whenever I figure those links out and have time to sit down and do stuff not like this. And yeah, I'll enjoy you in the next video.